What's up guys, it's Jordan, and before the video I'd like to make a quick announcement. As per most YouTubers, I have decided to make a Patreon. Haven't really got it fully set up yet, but I will as I learn the user interface and such in the coming weeks. So yeah, I'm going to drop a link in the description box, and feel free to make a donation if you'd like. I have it set to monthly donations, and again, don't feel obliged to donate. It's just a fun way to try to help boost the income for future videos with things such as internet service and a web camera, so I can actually do like visual commentaries and stuff. So, you know, just small things here and there, so no big deal. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that link below, so feel free to help support me on Patreon. And let's get right into the video. So today we're gonna start touching base with the new Star Wars movie. This past week we got the teaser and we learned a bit, kind of things that we already knew were, or kind of things we were supposed to expect from this next film. Obviously we're going to get a look into Rey's Jedi training and Finn's fate and the First Order and how they're going to retaliate after the loss of Starkiller Base. But the main focus of today's video actually lies in a line that Luke stated. And his line was, "I only know one truth, and it's that the Jedis must end." Or something along those lines. And it can be interpreted in many ways. So the primary two that I kind of, well, I guess it's three if you really want to split it that far, but there's three kind of takeaways you can have from this. So the first one is kind of the most melancholy, dark one, and it's that Luke has given up all forms of hope as far as him trusting himself in training Jedi. So maybe he thinks that, you know, after this long journey and after everything that's happened to him, that maybe he just wasn't prepared to train the Jedi properly like they used to be able to when the Republic and the Jedi were around in the prequel trilogy. That is kind of a theorized takeaway. Some people have been saying that, and some people think that he's just kind of given up because of what happened with Kylo Ren. The other one kind of follows that same track, in that it's actually that Luke has kind of fallen into this darkness, and he's in this dark state of mind where maybe he has kind of succumbed to the dark side and maybe lost all hope and become kind of a hermit, like a polar opposite of what Yoda was in the Empire Strikes Back. And then the third theory, which is one that I kind of thought up myself after watching the trailer, because I just couldn't believe that a Star Wars movie would go this, like, as dark as the former of the two, like the two explanations that I thought of. So here's my thought, and this is totally theoretical, but I feel like it does kind of fit the narrative of the Star Wars universe and everything that's going on, and I would rather see it come to this. And it kind of fits Luke's character a little bit better after seeing Return of the Jedi and even The Empire Strikes Back a little bit. But so we have Luke, and at the end of Return of the Jedi, you know, he was being pushed into giving into his hatred, and, you know, he did have that moment where he kind of did go berserk on Darth Vader, and I think he cut his arm off, if I remember correctly. It's been a little while since I've seen the last one, like a couple months, but I'm pretty sure that was when he cut Darth Vader's arm off. And he did kind of give into some hatred there, and he was always kind of tenacious, like even in The Empire Strikes Back when Yoda warned him not to go to Cloud City, and he did anyways, and Yoda told him that he wasn't ready and all this stuff. That kind of goes back to that. So here's my ultimate theory for why Luke said what he said. I don't think Luke is looking at this, the idea of being force sensitive, as a, good or bad thing. So when he says that the Jedi must end, I don't think he's saying that him and Rey need to die and just just give up and let the First Order take over and control the galaxy. I think what he's kind of alluding to is this idea where it shouldn't be a good or bad, there shouldn't be a good or bad side to the Force. They're always talking about balance in the Force as being Jedi versus Sith. But maybe he's come to realize that the balance is actually within the individual and not within factions. So maybe instead of it being Jedi and Sith, it's just Force sensitive beings, if that makes sense. So let's take Rey for example. It's implied that Rey will be a Jedi, and then it's given that Kylo Ren is a Sith. But what if they decided to take this idea of good and bad, and we just take Rey, who is fresh, just discovered that she's Force sensitive, and instead of training her that being a Jedi is the way, maybe it's more along the lines of the gray Jedi, I believe, and even kind of in the same realm as Qui-Gon Jinn was in some ways in The Phantom Menace, where you kind of balance the Force within yourself, so you're neither Jedi nor Sith, but you have a good neutral ground, so you're kind of like a neutral Jedi. And that's kind of what I hope he's alluding to. And since he did show signs of that in The Empire Strikes Back and in Revenge of the Sith, or Return of the Jedi, excuse me. In Return of the Jedi, I'm hoping that that's kind of what he's getting at, and he's not just saying, well, it's time for you to die, Rey. You're totally useless. I mean, it could be any of those things, but it could also be maybe something along the lines of, like, he is kind of a negative hermit, and maybe Rey did something that really, like, upset him, or she's not training the way, or she's not trying hard enough, so that's what he says just out of anger, and he doesn't actually mean it, because he does kind of have that tenacious side anyways. So either way, I guess we'll find out as we get a real trailer, as the video that was shown at the Star Wars Celebration was just a teaser. So I guess we'll find out later on down the road. Anyways, guys, I've been Jordan. As I said at the beginning, the Patreon link is in the description, so feel free to donate if you would like. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
I place my dreams among the stars while I'm standing on the pavement, spinning around, lost and found, just trying to make a statement. Lift the weight off my shoulders and set me free. Let the birds in the sky is